So we'll start very soon. I sent the assignment to, it's due on Sunday. So yeah, it's all, I think I'll go through it at the beginning. So you gotta, so you take the, so for the assignment number 2, you take this data right here that's given on this file, the source tabulated data, and then you make a histogram for IQ using 4 ranges, draw a pie chart for year in college, draw a scatter plot with IQ on the x-axis and exam marks on the y-axis, and then calculate the standard deviation for IQ. So that's going to be the assignment 2. So I think we'll start in the PowerPoint. I'll just bring that up. So we're going to do questionnaires today. So the project, the report they have to write, it'll be a research paper. So you'll have to figure out what the effect of one variable is on another variable. So it's a data research report, and you can do regression analysis. You can compare the data on Excel and determine if one goes up, one goes down, one goes down, one goes down, one goes up, one goes up. So you figure out what has an effect on another variable. So it could be savings on investments, investment on economic growth, etc. So questionnaires are a good method to record data, and they use that a lot in data in research. So we're going to look at different types of questionnaires, designing questionnaires to tap different variables, and what the advantages and disadvantages of a certain data collection are in certain research. So we're going to go through chapter 9, except for international dimensions of surveys, multi-methods of data collection, managerial implications, ethics, and data collection. So in primary research, the quality of the data is related to the quality of the process used and the attention to details. So a questionnaire is a pre-formulated set of questions to which respondents record their answers, usually within their closely defined alternatives. So there can be the personally administered questionnaires, so verbally asking the questions. Mail questionnaires, so sent in mail, not used that much anymore. Electronic and online questionnaires. So that's done a lot through Facebook. YouTube has a lot of those on ads. They have a lot of those virtual questionnaires. And then SurveyMonkey as well. So there could be nominal, ordinal, internal ratio questions. It's important to ask the questions not biasly. Like, it's important to have the questions asked objectively. The problem is with asking questions from survey, like making questions, they can be made to elicit a certain response. Like, you can create questions that try to get a certain response from people. Like that's the problem with some questionnaires is that the people who answer the questionnaire may answer incorrectly because the question manipulates them to answer it incorrectly. So that happens. So you need to create the questions in a way that the answers are not uh, like you're not forced to answer a certain way. Yeah. So open-ended questions like "How do you feel?" is a good question because it's not forcing them to answer a certain way. Like they're going to answer in their own personal way, and that's what you want. You don't want them to answer all of this all the same because you won't be getting good data. And then if you do feel better, worse, or same, that's a good question because it's not forcing an answer. Like they have options. So that's a good answer because you'll get more of an accurate data set from that. And then also asking them to remember the past is a problem because they're going to have a low reliability answer that way. And then also, yeah, like, do you agree that productivity should be the only base for salary increase? That would be a bad question because you're forcing them to say yes. They're going to say no rarely in this situation. And also, like what I said about the past here, people have a bad memory of the past for the most part. It's usually skewed. And also like loaded questions. Don't use trigger words. Like be careful with your wording. Like it has to be very careful. And also, yeah, so like a lot of this is very important. The questionnaires are the most common method of collecting data, and they're usually used when we need a lot of people surveyed. So they use that for the census. So like hundreds of thousands of people are surveyed to the census, and it's very effective because they can send it through email or online methods, and it's quick, or mail is quick to evaluate. Like you can use a machine or a computer to evaluate it, and you don't have to get like you can do it all fully automated. It's if you want to do it for hundreds of thousands of people, the questionnaire is the best way to go because you can use computers and machines to count the answers and see what the general population is thinking in the hundreds of thousands. For interviews, you couldn't do that with hundreds of thousands of people. For interviews, it's more of like hundreds of people. So the interview way is more for small groups. Questionnaires are more for huge groups. So like if you want to look at the population, you're looking at a questionnaire is really important. But for interviews, it's more for small groups of people. So yeah, face to face can be good to for small groups and getting data quick, but it's expensive.